Part 37. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 361. 361. The 361 chapter is a disaster. The 361 chapter is a disaster. Just now he thought that Lu Zixin was Xiao Yao's little white face, who knows that the other party is so big. Looking at the entrepreneurs of China, who is not qualified to look down on him. What's more, he is a deputy general manager of Dayuan Real Estate Huaxia Market. On top of him, there is the general manager of Huaxia District, the president of Asia, the president of the group, the board of directors. Even Peng is always polite. What is Feng Yuan? He thought deeply, and felt more afraid of thinking. Since the young man is the president of the Hongxing group, who is Shui Yao? Shui Yao is so beautiful, young, and gentle, is the president of Red Letter Virtual Entertainment. It's so close to Lu Zixin, I'm afraid. Thinking of this, Feng Yuan is even more afraid, thinking in his heart, is not looking for an opportunity to pay compensation for Shui Yao, so as not to make people hate. If she said a few bad things about him at Peng, it wouldn't be enough to take it. In addition to them, others have gathered their eyes on Lu Zixin, trying to see him more and see the legendary figure. Some people who want to take pictures are blocked by the waiter. It's totally different from the photos on the internet. Good young. It turns out that he is Lu Yan. It's no wonder that Zhang Xiao's attitude. Zhang Kai's new girlfriend also suddenly realized that there are few people who can make Zhang Kai respectfully treat each other, but this one is absolutely enough. Octopus, thank you for your contribution to charity. Peng Mingyuan stood up again and shook hands with him. Learning to you, Lu Zixin just said something modestly and did not make any long speeches. In addition to the money to buy earrings, he donated everything in kind. This will maximize the use of these materials for charity education. With the donations from the three of them, the donations in the back were quite smooth. Everyone is a person with a head and face. Many donate millions, donate tens of thousands, and the total donation has reached 200 million. It has been quite successful. The donation is over, the event is not over yet. You can also play here, and there are various entertainment facilities and restrooms on the cruise. The cruise will stay here for 3 days and then head to Hong Kong Island. If you are interested, you can continue to play. As soon as the donation activity is over, many business elites have already gathered. In addition to the familiarity of Zhang Dezhang and Peng Mingyuan, Lu Zixin is also of interest to them. The big leader of the Hongxing group rarely attended the event, and it was the first time to see his true feelings. Entrepreneurs and celebrities who are sitting in the front row, quickly find opportunities to make Lu Zixin. I hope to have some chance to get some help. For example, your company is looking for a red letter capital investment. Lu Zixin has always kept a few words, and everything has to let Shui Yao come. When everyone saw it, they all understood that there was something to find Shui Yao first. So Shui Yao became a star among entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs that she had been difficult to discuss before were now very kind to her, and they said that they had the opportunity to cooperate and talk. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Shui Yao also quickly promoted his company's virtual projection experience room project to Zhang Dezhang and Peng Mingyuan. Zhang Dezhang immediately praised, "This is a good idea. The virtual mutual entertainment is a combination of online and offline, and the experience is better for consumers." Is there any interest in cooperation in that chapter? Shui Yao asked. Zhang Dezhang said with a smile, "I am very interested, but the business I am now managing is not this one. I can tell your project to our senior management and let them study it." Peng Mingyuan was very interested and said, "This project is interesting. Yes, our Feng Yuanan manager of Dayuan is here, you can find him." Shui Yao showed a hint of helplessness and said, "Feng always is not very interested in my project. I have found him several times." "Is it?" Peng Mingyuan was slightly frowned, and he sounded good on this project. Most importantly, This is because the Red Letter Group took the initiative to find them to cooperate. No matter what project, he should hear such a report, but he did not hear it. He leaned a little, his eyes swept in the direction of Feng Yuan, with a bit of sharpness and interrogation. Feng Yuan felt it tremble, secretly thought himself to be bad luck. Pang Mingyuan looked very friendly, and he had to look at who he was. Within the group, he is definitely a strict and rigorous person. This time, the blame will definitely be inevitable. If you leave a bad impression on Pang, your own promotion will be difficult to do. I really shouldn't. Feng Yuan really wants to slap his own 2 slaps, nothing to call Shui Yao, this identity should have long thought of, women smash, disaster. Lu Zixin also said for Shui Yao, I think, this virtual experience room is very promising. We will continue to promote the virtual projection smart products, and the interactive virtual projection game of Red Letter will also usher in a blowout in the future. This experience room will be as popular as the game hall and internet cafe, all over the country. When he spoke, several people listened and thought about the possibilities. Pang Mingyuan patted his shoulder and said, good project, since Zhang always does not preempt, then I will be welcome. He continued, Xiao Shui, this project, we Dayuan Real Estate. Pang Zong, you agreed. Shui Yao was surprised. This is a project involving the whole country, it is really implemented, and it is also a few billion investment. I believe in you and believe in Lu Yan. Pang Mingyuan said confidently, Lu Yan can make you the president of Red Letter Virtual Entertainment. It must be a bit of a skill. I was still talking about investment with him, but unfortunately I have not found a project that can be cooperated. Your project can be used as the first case for our 2 groups to try to cooperate. If it can succeed, maybe we can do more cooperation in the future. After Pang Mingyuan finished, Zhang Dezhang immediately made a repentant emoticon and said, how come I didn't think, Lao Pang, let you take the lead. Ha ha ha. Pang Mingyuan laughed. Shui Yao is full of joy, she can't think of her own hard-working projects, it is so simple to succeed. According to her thoughts, Pang Mingyuan is interested in this project, and certainly will not test the decision after reading the project book or analyzing the discussion. But the fact is that when he said it, he immediately agreed. Shui Yao knows that this is not his own merit, or how attractive the project is. This is entirely the charm of Lu Zixin and Hongxing Group, which makes Pang Mingyuan decide to invest and cooperate. She glanced at Lu Zixin and her eyes were full of joy. This is the person she admires. It only takes a word to make these famous Chinese business rush to invest, so cool. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 362. 362 Chapter 362 Goes Home. Chapter 362 Goes Home. In this way, Shui Yao not only made a big splash at the reception, but also completed his goal. This appearance of Lu Zixin is of great significance. I think everyone will pay more attention to the Red Letter Virtual Entertainment. On the same day, Lu Zixin and Shui Yao rested on the cruise ship, and Zhang Kyle specially arranged a private VIP room for them. Open the window, there is a cool sea breeze blowing, outside is the sparkling sea and the lights of the ship. Shui Yao also wore the blue and white porcelain cheongsam and leaned against the window. The breeze blew through her hair, and the moonlight was printed on her pupil. The room is a retro Western light, and the dim light shines on her, giving a sense of crossing. She is like the red face of the Republic of China. In this vast world, she drifted with the tide, not knowing where to go. Lu Zixin picked up 2 glasses of red wine and handed her a cup. The bright red liquid sways in the cup and then flows into the delicate red lips. Look, Lu Zixin handed her a small box. This is, earrings. Shui Yao took the small box and opened it. It turned out to be the previous pink diamond earrings, which was bought by Lu Zixin. You must be beautiful to wear, Lu Zixin said. Shui Yao is delighted to wear it, the red diamonds are dazzling, The red goblets swing up the ripples, the red lips are fascinating. Needless to say, the two have been difficult to distinguish. The next day, Lu Zixin returned to Zhongcheng with Shui Yao. Shui Yao began to work on her experience room project and approached Daywan Real Estate. Lu Zixin, naturally, is staring at the Center for Quantum Computer Research to see the progress. By the way, take a leisurely day and go home to see. In He County, the villa area developed by Lu Zixin and Beijia Real Estate has already been built and sold. This area is currently the best residential area in the county. Anyone who can live here is in the eyes of He County, and that is the rich. Lu Zixin Home, also renovated and built the best. Fully intelligent device, plus security system. In addition to the security of the community, Lu Zixin has special private security guards, babysitters, and so on. At this time, Lu Zixin's family was busy, and several relatives and friends were having dinner at his house. Today is the weekend, because Lu Zixin told his mother to go home in advance. His mother told his dad that his dad said casually, and the relatives and friends would come and visit the big boss. Now Lu Zixin's close friends and relatives probably know his identity, and they all see him as a god. Fortunately, Lu Yu repeatedly stressed that it is impossible to promote everywhere, otherwise they have already begun to use Lu Zixin to compare. Now, in all the relatives and friends, Lu Yu's words are all the same, just like the big family parents. What happened to everyone, and what contradictions have arisen? Please ask Lu's father to decide. In the living room, several relatives are chatting. Sancha asked Lu Mudeo, "When is your family letter to my brother?" He said that today. He did not say a few points. Shenman shook his head. "Is there always a time to drive?" asked the aunt. "He is coming by his own plane, so he is not sure," Shenman replied. "Amount, the plane, it is more convenient to come back." The big aunt felt a little embarrassed, and there was a kind of poverty that limited the feeling of his imagination. "What about a few children?" Shenman asked. The nanny next to him replied, "They are watching movies in the movie room." Lu Zixin's home, with a virtual projection device, is a true home theater. "Let them play, so as not to bother us," Lu Yu said. "That little king, take my tea, let's drink some tea first." "Okay." The babysitter immediately left. "Then I will cook." Shenman got up. "Is there a chef?" Lu Yu said. "You are also sitting and drinking tea?" "No, my son likes what I do." Shenman didn't listen, he was going to the kitchen. Lu Yu laughed and said nothing. The next big aunt and Sancha couldn't sit still and said, "We've also gone when you were young. Your family's brothers liked my old hen soup I didn't feed a little feed, it tastes great. When I was a child, the roar of the outside of the villa was the sound of a helicopter." The aunt and the three sisters also ran to see, and soon Lu Zixin appeared in front of them. "The letter brother is more and more like a big boss, this style," Sancha praised. "What is the image? It was originally," said the aunt, and said, "You have to change clothes first, and our food is ready." Yeah, Lu Zixin came to the living room, first to say hello to the uncle, and then to his father. Fortunately, Lu Yu is much more spiritual than last time. It should be the role of Lu Zixin's genetic optimization solution from Red Queen. Lu Yu looked up and down Lu Zixin and waited for him to talk. "Dad, my mom," Lu Zixin habitually blurted out. "One is to ask your mother." Lu Yu didn't know whether to cry or laugh, said, "The kitchen cooks for you." Lu Zixin hurried into the kitchen to say hello to her mother, and she was driven out in less than 2 minutes. "Don't you tell you the last time, if you go home without a girlfriend, don't squint at me," Shenman scolded. "Be sure to bring it next time. Don't talk to me next time, I won't let you enter without a door next time." At the meal, the restaurant had a large table full of meals, all of which were local dishes from He County. The main dishes were made by Shenman, Auntie, and Sancha. The chef invited the dessert. "Lu Jun, why haven't come yet?" the younger brother is hard to go home once, but still to eat, asked the uncle. He went to Ziohei and he will be back soon, the aunt said quickly. Ziohei is the child of the three uncles, Luhai, who is rereading this year, which is the senior year. Said Cao. Luzixin's cousin Lujun came with his nephew Luhai. Lujun matured a lot, and kept a short beard. And Luhai's appearance is a bit wolf. His clothes were messy, with dirt and blood on his face, blood on his ears and arms, and it seemed to be a fight. Xiao Hai, what's wrong with you, fighting with people? Three shocked, immediately stood up and said with amazement, that guy hit you, said to the mother, Mom will call the police. Three uncles have been screwed up, Emoticon is serious, and swears, I know noisy, not telling you to come early, do you believe that you are going home to eat together today, what have you done? Luhai sighed his head over the side and said, I am not the first to do it, they are too much. You don't train your child first that, Xiao Wang, help change his clothes, do you understand medical knowledge, help him to see if there is anything. Shenman called the round and called the babysitter at home. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 363. 363 Chapter Shadow. Chapter 363 Chapter. The nanny took Luhai to take care of him. Fortunately, there was no major event, it was some bruises. How did this kid do it? Shenman asked Lujun, have a fight with someone? Lujun nodded and said, when I went to see him, I was blocked by a group of small gangsters in the alley next to the old middle school. If I had gone early, it is still serious. Why don't you call the police and grab the few punks? Sancha complained, make my children like this. The few little scorpions ran too fast, and there was no monitoring in the alley. Lujun reluctantly said, there is no way to catch them. Luhai was bandaged and went to the table. The uncle immediately asked, why are you fighting with others? Is it something that you have troubled? I have told you long ago, concentrate on studying, don't do anything bad, don't talk to those who are messy, you just don't listen. Luhai screamed and shouted, it's not that I messed with them, they are too much. You still talk back, three uncles are going to pack him, and Luhai retired 2 steps. Shenman quickly advised, the child also said that it was not intentional, let's eat first. I don't want to eat, Luhai went away with enthusiasm. Give back to Laozi, you little bastard, the three uncles, the child is so rebellious, not giving him the face of Laozi in front of everyone. Forget it, Sancha said, I will talk to him later. Luzixin also advised, three uncles, let's eat first, and then he will eat when he is hungry. Go back, I must pack him, there is no evil in the evil, Sanshu coldly snorted and said. After eating, Luhai was still hungry, and the three uncles were going to educate him. Shenman said to Luzixin, children are rebellious against adults, you are going to ask your younger brother. Well, I will ask, you will drink tea with my dad and uncle, and let me do this little thing, Luzixin said. I am going to, three uncles, Luhai's younger sister Luhao also keeps up. Luhao is now also a high school, more lively than before. In the room, Luhai did not eat, burying his head in the game. The virtual projection game console he used was last sent by Luzixin. Little C, what's wrong? Luzixin asked. Nothing, Luhai is more respectful to Luzixin. After all, Sanshu Sanyi teaches him to study with Luzixin every day, and brags about how much Luzixin is, and he also sees it. I know, said Luhao next to him. Do you know what? Luhai gave her a glance, but Luhao was not afraid at all. He said to Luzixin, he believes that he must be beaten because of his girlfriend. Call you not to say anything, Lu Hai suddenly stood up and said to Lu. His impetuous appearance scared Lu Hao, and he was wrong to hide behind Lu Zixin. Lu Zixin browse and shouts at him, "What is fierce to your younger sister, sit down for me." He gave Lu Hai a press at once, and Lu Hai wanted to resist, but it did not help. "You have a girlfriend, and I won't say anything about you. You have made this clear today. Is being beaten like this. If you didn't go, would you beat it even worse?" Lu Zixin educated him and asked Lu how to figure things out. It turned out that when Lu Hai's younger girlfriend went to school, he was harassed by the few gangsters. Lu Haiki, however, went to find the few punk theories, and the results were cleaned up. This is not a major event. Find someone to solve the few punks. But Lu Zixin noticed a problem. "You mean, they are usually gathered in that alley, playing a bloody and violent virtual projection game?" Lu Zixin asked. "Yeah, our school knows," Lu said, "there is a black shadow there, a lot of gangsters are playing there. There are people in our school who go there to play, all those who like to fight and fight, every day there. Some people have been fighting last month, there were individuals in the next class who were interrupted and they have dropped out of school." Shadow, Lu Zixin heard the word for the first time. "It's the shadow, the place to play the projection game," Lu Hao said. Lu Zixin remembers that their virtual projection game devices are sold directly to regular internet cafes and internet cafes. Even the project of the virtual projection experience room, Shuiyao, has just begun preparations, has not yet been established. Actually, there have been similar places. This may be a kind of entertainment venue that is spontaneously opened by the people and is also normal. But one thing, how did the movie bar become a place for fights? He noticed a slight flaw, and perhaps there were some problems that he ignored. "Take me a look," Lu Zixin said. "Ah," Lu Hao hesitated. "Our teacher won't let us go." "Lu Hai, gone," Lu Zixin pulled Lu Hai. "Hey, why are you going?" Shenman and Sancheo asked at the door. "Nothing, go out for a walk." Lu Zixin did not elaborate. "Come back soon." Lu Zixin drove a scooter at home and took two people to go directly to the alley near the school, Black Dog Lane. Black Dog Lane originally had no name, because there were residents in the house with tall and fierce black wolf dogs, so the nearby talents called it Black Dog Lane. This Black Dog Alley is an old house. Few people go there. There are only a few students and young people in the community. Because there is a black internet cafe and KTV, a small hotel or something. But in the past month, there have been more and more social youths in Black Dog Lane. It is said that it has opened a lot of people, attracting a lot of people, and there have been several hits in recent times, and there are fewer normal people coming. "Second brother, let's not go. The people there are fierce." Lu Hao was a little scared, with a little worry on his face. "There are two big wolves, there. I don't dare to go here." "There is a brother, don't be afraid," Lu Zixin comforted. "You can lead the way." "Brother, do we want to call the police?" Lu Hai was also somewhat guilty at this time. "They have many people." "We are not fighting, nothing." Lu Zixin did not worry at all. With his current physical fitness, as long as the other side has no hot weapons, he will not worry if he comes to dozens. Besides, in order to be on the safe side, he put on the mini Iron Man, and he can handle the trouble with the air discharge. Soon, they came to the Black Dog Lane. The alley was too narrow, and there was a van, a three-wheeled electric car, and the like. The car couldn't get in, so Lu Zixin found a place outside and stopped the car, with Lu Hai and Lu Hao. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 364. 364. Chapter 364 is crazy about me. The 364 chapter is crazy for me. "Brother, what if they put the dog?" Lu Hao followed Lu Zixin, a little scared. "She is usually a prostitute, she has never been to this place, just listen to what the classmates have talked about." Then we have dog meat to eat, Lu Zixin played with a smile. Lu Hai did not speak, but clenched his fist and walked beside him. Lu Zixin looked at the surrounding environment, and the black net was hiding the door. You can see some students wearing school uniforms playing games inside. On the roadside poles and walls, all are small advertisements, what is painless, heavy money, and hourly rooms. Just in front, Lu Hai pointed to the end of the lane, there is a hidden small building. There are no signs outside the building, and people have written a demolition word with paint. Several people are smoking and chatting outside, seeing them and not saying anything. Is this a shadow? Lu Zixin asked. Well, in the innermost, Lu Hai said. That, Lu Hao, go outside, Lu Zixin said. I am going with Lu Hai. Yeah, Lu Hoqiao nodded and went outside the alley. Lu Zixin and Lu Haijin went in. When they entered, there was a place like a bar. There was a flat-headed youth yelling at the bar. The trough, really TM stimulation, that's it. He wore a pair of smart projected glasses, his hands paddling in the air, and seemed to be doing something. The glasses are embedded projections, which are of the low version, and only the wearer can see the projected picture. Lu Zixin noticed that this is actually the equipment produced by Red Letter Electronics, but it is already the product of the previous generation. Boss, get on the plane, Lu Hai shouted. Oh, it's really annoying, brothers, let me go back for a minute. The young man turned off the projection effect, and Lu Hai handed him 100 pieces and said, 2 machines. The young man took 2 projection glasses from the locked cabinet and handed them to them. He said, there has been a new game recently, it is very exciting, you can play and watch, don't break things. The 2 entered the room. Lu Zixin discovered that the space inside was completely different from the outside. The interior is refurbished and has a lot of space, as well as upstairs and basement. In these spaces, some people wear glasses to play games, screaming wildly, and some people use more advanced equipment, which is the operational virtual projection game machine launched by Red Letter. Their game screens, direct projections, can be seen by everyone. Lu Zixin passed a room. A person is playing a game that is not suitable for children. The projected picture makes people bloodline arrogant, and the large-scale exposed picture appears in front of the player through the projection. And that player is actually a student in a school uniform. The 18 forbidden game Lu Zixin has not been seen, but it is limited to the dark space of the network, rarely circulated. And that is the scale is big. There is no virtual projection so real. When creating a projection game, the Red Letter game will optimize the picture, remove those large parts, and the projection will have a virtual sense. In order to avoid being too real, let the player have an illusion of projection and reality. However, this game is definitely not made by the Red Letter game. The projection has not undergone any blurring treatment, and even strives to be more realistic. Lu Hai was a little embarrassed, pretending not to see. But Lu Zixin has seen more. In addition to this color game, there are violent types of games. In a large private room, someone plays a game like a simulated city. The projected streetscapes, things, people, and animals are all very real. Players can kill, invade, rob, destroy in the game. It is a game of violent crime, and the way of expression is a super-realistic virtual projection. Lu Zixin was shocked, because these games are definitely not made by Red Letter, and the official is not allowed to spread it. In the picture, the bloody murder and the reaction of infringing on women are all very real. This kind of game doesn't say that it is fun, that is, it will affect the mind of normal people. He saw that the player was very excited and was cutting a passerby into a halves with a chainsaw. The emoticon was like a killer in a terrifying film, and the real blood effects and screaming recordings made people feel cold. This is a very terrifying thing. If you indulge in such a game for a long time, will your mind change? Especially in this real projection effect, playing for a long time will not confuse reality with the game. If you spend another night, drink some wine, and you are unconscious. It is not surprising to make any crazy moves on the street. Lu Hai saw the scene with some fear. He said, "The game is called Crazy Me. I have to spend money to play. I never play." Crazy Me, Lu Zixin remembered the name, and it must go deeper when it comes back. The few are the people who beat me. Lu Hai pointed at the back. On the other side, in front of a row of virtual projection game consoles, 4 young people are working on projection games. The game's picture is also the city in Crazy Me. The 4 of them are teaming up to simulate a bombing of a bridge. "Is the bomb ready? We are all red names, and the police must have come in 10 minutes, one shouted, and he controlled his role to make a car accident on the bridge. The projected picture also has a picture of a car accident. The production is not sophisticated, there are a lot of flaws, but still can give them a different kind of excitement. Come on, come, blow the bridge, our sin value will be ranked in the top 100, a guy who chewed beetle nuts, shouted unclearly. Lu Zixin is not disgusting with action games, but he likes it too. But if you magnify crime and darkness and present it in front of people with real images, then there is a big problem. This is not a trivial matter. Lu Zixin decided to pursue it. How did the movie appear, and who made the game? Hey, Lu Zixin patted him on the shoulder. Go away. He hadn't finished talking yet, and he was pulled from the chair by Lu Zixin. Draw it, who are you? He spit out the beetle nut and wanted to vomit it on Lu Zixin's face. Lu Zixin got stuck in the jaw and almost didn't get stuck in his throat. Cough and cough. What? Looking for trouble, the other 3 youths stood up and stared at Lu Zixin. When they saw Lu Hai behind, they instantly understood. One person said with a smile, "Hey, let people help, don't look at who's the sight." "This is a little bit better than the scorpion. I haven't had enough swearing." One person stepped forward and pushed Lu Hai by hand. He was suddenly held by Lu Zixin. With a little effort, he screamed with pain. "It hurts, 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 brother, if you help me." "Grass, swear at him." The rest of the people saw the situation, holding the chair, and greeted the past with their fists and feet. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 365. 365. The 365 chapter of the Black Industry Chain. The 365 chapter of the Black Industry Chain. "Brother," Lu Hai screamed in the back, thinking about copying the stool to help, but he only saw the shadow in front of him. The 4 young people all fell to the ground. There is no power to fight back. Is this too God? Lu Hai was shocked. He never knew that his second brother had this kind of skill. What, do you want to fight and fight? The flat-headed youth at the bar ran over and saw the big shout. Get out of the way, other players are also used to this kind of scene. There is a fight at both ends of the 3 days. I am not coming to fight. Lu Zixin emoticon swept them over and said, but if someone doesn't have long eyes, I don't mind teaching him. As he said, he punched his fist on the table next to him, and suddenly the table was hammered with a big hole, and the sawdust was still falling. The trough, the flat-headed youth was shocked. Although this table is a splint, it is double-layered. Change it to him, let alone wear the desktop, it will hurt the hammer. This person is a great strength. Learning the family, he forced himself to calm down and threatened, do you know who our boss is? Do you dare to make trouble here? I really want to know who your boss is. Let him come, Lu Zixin coldly snorted and said. He came here not to find the troubles of a few gangsters, but to know who made this real bloody violent projection game. It is only in the vicinity of He County, or it has spread to the whole country. If it is the former, it is still within the controllable range. If it is the latter, the impact will be too bad. If it is a few incidents that have a bad social impact, the most affected ones will be the Hongxing group. Everyone will question the virtual projection game, question this technology, and bring huge losses to the red letter group. Luzixin wants to find out the black industry chain behind this scene. Brat, don't be crazy, our boss is not what you are provoked, that is, the Public Security Bureau here has to sell him a face. Ping to Youth is still threatening. Luzixin suddenly stepped forward and grabbed him as a whole. In the air, said, I will give you a minute, call your boss, or else, your end is like this. Luzixin pointed at the table that he was piercing. The young man in the flathead had a lingering sorrow and gritted his teeth. Well, you wait for me, dare to make troubles with us. He quickly called and called, what, 3, touched, an impatient voice came from the phone, and there was a mahjong noise. Boss, let's make a trouble, we hit our guests, and we smashed everything, Ping to Youth rushed to report. Which is a bar, which dare to make trouble in the labor management site, there was a loud voice screaming over there. Boss, he still has to see you, saying that if you don't come, you will be jealous of us. Rely, labor and management still do not believe, let that brat do not go, there was an angry voice, and the sound of mahjong collision. Get up, still have a fart card. In the backyard of the small room, Ping to Youth and the 4 little punks were watched by Luzixin, and Lu Hai was paid by Luzixin. In the corner of the yard, 2 big wolf dogs, 1 person tall, also screamed on the side of Ao Wu. Seeing this scene, several people are still worried. This person is too terrifying, 2 big wolves, if you start a madman, you can kill and die, but in front of this person, you will fly directly to the cockroach, and almost become a dead dog. A few of you, have you remembered for a long time, Luzixin pointed at the 4 little punks. The 4 little punks nodded quickly and asked for mercy, Big brother, we know it is wrong. Know it, Luzixin said with a big eyebrow, what if you retaliate in private later? No, we will never, 1 person promised. Do you think I will believe it? Luzixin coldly snorted and said, some of you, stay here now, take a good look, my younger brother is you can bully. What do you do with your mobile phone? If you want to call the police, feel free, if you call someone, don't blame me for being impolite, Luzixin shouted. The guy who scared the sneaky mobile phone quickly put the phone aside. You don't want to be too arrogant, said the flat-headed youth with a sigh of relief. When the boss is here, you have a good look. Less than the ratio, Luzixin shouted, between the time he didn't come, if you want to be like the 2 dead dogs, I can fulfill you. The flat-headed youth feared and shrank his head, and dared not let go. I ask you, where did you play these games? Luzixin interrogated. On the game machine, one replied. Crap, I don't know if it's in the console, Luzixin yelled. I asked where you downloaded it from, or who gave it to you. I don't know, the 4 little punks shook their heads again and again. We are playing games, it's not clear. Luzixin looked at the young man in pink too. He quickly shook his head and said, I don't know, it's the machine that the boss gave, and the game is good. Luzixin is too lazy to ask, these people are not informed, it seems that only the boss can be found, in order to ask something valuable. In less than half an hour, the boss of this shadow bar arrived. He didn't come alone, but he came with 3 men with thick waists and fierce gods. As soon as I got to the place, the boss shouted to the customers who were still playing the game, brothers, I have something to solve, I will suspend business now, I can't help you, come to me next time. People complained and left here. That brat is finished. So many people, can't break their legs. Hey, I just disguised as a taxi driver in the game, X had a woman, and the sin value has risen by tens of thousands, I was also rewarded with $1 million, really unhappy, not fun. Go, be careful. Take something up, the boss directed a few people and collected all their equipment before they went to the backyard. It's you, what's the trouble with me? The boss stared at Luzixin, and he saw the scene in the yard, and the anger came to his face. My customers and employees have been cleaned up, and even the two big wolves he raised have been overturned to the ground, or in his own shop, deceiving too much. Luzixin is also looking at the boss. He looks like he is in his 40s, wearing a fancy vest and shorts, and he is not a serious person at first glance. Boss, it is him, he just arrogant one, not only hit us, licking us things, but also packing you. Ping to youth saw the boss came, and quickly went to ask for help. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 366. 366 Chapter 366 Legal Weapons. Chapter 366 Legal Weapons. Brat, you are very rushing, the boss said, igniting a cigarette without hesitation. Behind him, several robot men stood behind him, and he was very angry. Boss, educate him, we are here to play games, and he was given a slap. The four little gangsters saw it, like finding a backer and running over to scream. The boss patted one of the shoulders and said, little brother, you can rest assured that you are playing here. I will give you the opportunity to get back, or how do I do business in the future? Thank you boss, him. The four little punks got excited and finally got this bad smell. Boss, be careful, this guy will work hard, Ping to youth reminded. Kung Fu, my four brothers are all punched out, the boss spit out a ring of smoke. It's a tiger, it's also brought down to you today. You are the boss here, what is your name? Luzixin ignored the evil guys in the towns and asked. He, what? The boss sneered and said, you grandfather me, called Luojin Hammer, you go outside to inquire, the whole river county, there are several who do not know my Luojin Hammer, dare to make trouble in the labor and management, I see you, is it awkward? Ram Hammer Luzixin just yelled at birth. Luojin Hammer was angry again. Labor and capital is said to be Luojin Hammer, Gold Hammer, Iron UXX. Luzixin didn't take it for granted and continued, you are not legal to open this game, the virtual games provided are all serious and violent. Turn off your ass, Luojin hammered. You don't have to give a lot of labor to you, you are here today, I will give you two choices, either to talk to my brothers or to accompany me 200,000 block, choose it yourself. He was afraid that the words were not enough, and threatened, I remind you that the last one does not lose money, and now lies in the county hospital, the legs are broken, tisk tisk. Luzixin didn't change his face and said, you are a threat of violence, I am on the phone. Report, just call the police, Luojin Hammer said indifferently. Now you have to figure out that you came to my house to make trouble, hit people, and smashed things. The alarm is also catching you, just my little brother medical expenses, say less than 120,000, spiritual loss, tens of thousands of people. My two dogs are expensive, 100,000, and my family's equipment is worth 100,000, you should try your best. The man with the baseball bat next to him also sings with a smile, you just call the police, seeing the police come is arresting you and catching us. Luzixin said nothing, dialed the alarm call. Luojin Hammer also dialed a phone call and shouted, hey, Lu team, ha ha ha, find you a little help. After the phone call, Luojin Hammer was even more proud, and there was no fear. He said, when the police have not come, I will give you another chance. 200,000 people are private, otherwise, there will be more than 200,000. Boss, do not beat him. Flathead youth asked cautiously. Sabi is you, Luojin hammered. What ages are there, and sticks are used? I have told you long ago that you must learn to protect yourself with legal weapons. Luzixin heard the sentence and couldn't help but laugh and ridiculed, I still have legal weapons. Do you know that this shop is illegal, and where is your game content? Do you ask me, brat, how many pounds have you not figured out? Luojin Hammer scorned, Waiting to lose money. I am not illegal here, not you have the final say, the police have the final say. Look at him, don't let this brat run, yes, both of you go and pick up things. Luo Jinhammer has been quite experienced, people put things together, the house is also organized, and the virtual projection game equipment is locked. Lu Zixin didn't do it either. Since the other party is looking for a policeman, let the police solve it. Ask yourself this way, the other party will not answer honestly. The police came very quickly because the county public security bureau was near the county middle school. 2 police cars, a small car, a medium-sized police car, and 5 police officers. Luo Jinhammer heard the sound of the police and quickly went out to welcome. Lu team, you can count it, a few hard work, I am here to come to an unreasonable guy, hit my guests, and lick my things, you must take care of this matter. The policeman, known as the Lu team, nodded and said, we will deal with it, who is the one who controls the person first? Several police officers went on and wanted to copy Lu Zixin. Wait, Lu Zixin yelled directly and asked, do you understand the situation when you handle the case, if you come up, you will catch people. What else do you know, you are picking up things and hitting people, Luo Jinhammer shouted. Police comrades, look at me, what are these brothers, what have you been labeled? Right, and the dog I raised, I was killed by him. The guys who were shackled also mourned with the sorrow, and they were going to die. We have already understood the situation. You are suspected of causing trouble and damaging private property. Please cooperate with us to investigate. Back to the police station, Lu team just looked at it casually and made a conclusion. Comrades, are you too arbitrary under this conclusion? Lu Zixin asked. This store is suspected of operating without a license, and it is still an illegal entertainment venue. I started with them, they are the self-defense that they attacked me first. Counterattack. As a result of your self-defense counterattack, it is clearly the person you hit, a police officer shouted. Everything is about evidence, Lu Zixin said. This incident has let my lawyer explain it to you. Responsible lawyer, who is scared, you watched more TV dramas, Luo Jinhammer said with a sneer. You illegally operate entertainment venues here, Lu team interrogated and looked at Luo Jinhammer. Where, Lu, don't be fooled by this brat, Luo Jinhammer said quickly. I don't believe you can go in and check. I have nothing here. Go and see. Lu told the police that the 2 police officers went in and searched. They came out in less than 3 minutes. The report said, there is nothing here. Lu Zixin decided that they certainly didn't search well, and their vision was not good. The layout of this decoration inside is not a normal home. A few of you have taken a trip with us, Lu said. Slow, Lu Zixin shouted. He already saw it. Luo Jinhammer knew these people, maybe there are still some relationships. This matter must not be perfunctory, and it is necessary to find out the people behind this black industry chain. What do you have? Go back to the police station, Lu team shouted. I am afraid that the evidence will be difficult to find at that time. Lu Zixin pulled out his mobile phone and said, I still invite others to check it out. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 367. 367 Chapter Inversion. Chapter 367 Inversion. I still want to find someone. Do you think this is a joke? A policeman shouted forward, give me the phone. Are you sure? I just got through the phone number of Chen Shu, do you want to pick it up? Lu Zixin looked at him with a sly play. This police officer is the next one, Chen Shu, remember? Which book, remember? Is it a big man? His instinct tells him that this kind of thing can't be made in the first place. The Captain Lu also asked, you don't think about what relationship to look for. We have always been law enforcement. Which book do you call? Luo Jinhammer yelled, Lu team, what do you talk to him? Take him and take it away. The few gangsters also shouted, "Yes, police comrades, catch him." "Don't be noisy." Lu Team had some doubts in his heart, and did not rush to order. "Look at the other side's well thought out look. Do you really know what big?" The phone call Lu Zixin is of course the phone number of the county book of He County. When he was in He County a few years ago, he also had tea with Chen Shu, and the mayor of the city. At this moment, Chen Shu, of He County is talking with several leaders in the county to summarize recent work issues. "Single secretary, you must maintain this law and order especially near the middle school," the Education Bureau has responded. "In recent months, there have been several vicious fights in the vicinity of our county. The participants also have students from the school. The impact is very bad," Chen Shu, said. The single director of the County Public Security Bureau said. "Yes, we also attach great importance to this issue. We are prepared to focus on the vicinity of the school, to look at the social youth, to prevent them from making troubles and endangering students," the single director nodded. "Just saying," Chen Shu remembered. The phone ringing suddenly rang. Chen Shu, remember, actually Lu Zixin's phone. "Wait a minute, I will pick up the phone." Chen Shu remembered to call the phone, and asked with a good tone, "Is Octopus, how can I call me?" "Huiye County, well, if you have time, you can talk." "What, there is this kind of thing?" "There is no reason, you can rest assured that we will handle this matter and give you a satisfactory answer." Chen Shu remembered. The tone and face suddenly changed. The single secretary saw, the heart was in doubt. Chen Shu remembered to be calm, now dysfunctional. What is happening? Chen Shu remembered to hang up the phone, looked ugly and looked at the single director, so that the single director was a little bit cold. He rarely saw Chen Shu remember this emoticon. "Small single, what did I say to you just now? Now, our famous entrepreneurs in He County have been threatened by personal safety, and your comrades are also very unmanageable." On the other side, Lu Zixin hung up the phone. "Brat, what about the people?" Luo Jin Hammer shouted. "It's useless to find someone, you have to lose money, you have to swear." "I am a policeman, or are you a policeman?" Captain Lu yelled, and Luo Jin hammered his face and shouted, "Haha. I just give him a general knowledge of law." Captain Lu continued to ask Lu Zixin and said, "No matter who you call, we have to bring you back to the bureau." His voice did not fall, and the phone rang. Captain Lu took out his cell phone and saw it. He was actually the phone of the single director. He quickly called the phone. "Secretary. What are you doing now?" The tone of the single director was interrogated, which made Captain Lu feel a little faint. "I am out of the police, there is a fight," he replied truthfully. "Is it in the alley next to the county?" "Yeah, we will bring people back immediately." "Nothing," Captain Lu replied. "Nothing else?" Chen Shu remembered to give me a meal. "Lu Jing, look at the good things you did, you listen to me, you stay there and don't move, I will come soon. In addition, 10 million, don't offend the octopus, or you can't eat it." The single secretary hangs after he finishes talking. He has to call other subordinates and hurry to Black Dog Lane. "What?" Lu Jing hung up the phone, and this was reflected. The director personally called him, and his face was a slap. The reason, he naturally heard it, is the result of this brat call. Listening to the secretary's words, it seems that the book he called, is the Chen Shu, in the county. This brat a phone call, let Chen Shu remember to give the director a meal, then the director again gave himself a meal, but also come in person. What is his identity? Lu Jing thought of this, could not help but come up with a cold sweat. He seems to offend what is not a character. If it is normal, it will be considered, but how can he not know what Luo Jin hammered? When the secretary rushed over, how could I explain it at that time? If you can't get your own uniform, you have to give it up. Lu Team, press him back, asked the policeman next to him. No, Lu Jing quickly stopped him and said to Lu Zixin, "This gentleman, We have to study it carefully. What evidence and clues can you provide? Lu Zixin looked at him, and he already knew it, but he didn't want to give Lu Jing an opportunity. He said, "Wait a minute, wait until someone comes." Lu Jing is in a hurry. This person is really angry. If the secretary is here, he will say something that is not good for him. That is a big deal. He hurriedly told several policemen, "You will search again to see if he has illegally operated, and some of the fights are controlled." "Hey, Lu team, what are you doing?" Luo Jinhammer quickly stopped him and asked, "Isn't it arresting him? How come me?" "Let's get out." Lu Jing's iron-faced selflessness, coldly said, "You a few honest points, the consequences of obstructing law enforcement are very serious." Is obstructing law enforcement? Luo Jinhammer is not a fool. Hearing Lu Jing's tone, seeing his emoticon, and then contacting the phone just called, "I know that this time is not so simple." He quickly explained, "Lu team, I am really clean here, it is an ordinary house, nothing. Go into the search." Lu Jingke ignored him. He now has a thought and quickly make up for the measures, so as not to accumulate a crime that is unfavorable and suspected of harboring the crime. Good brat, a little bit tolerant, Luo Jinhammer saw, fiercely glanced at Lu Zixin. Luo Jinhammer thought, Lu Jing just to cope, he cannot afford to lose a few machines, no major event. But this brat pit him, this field must be found back. "Boss, what's wrong with this?" Ping Tu Youth also asked with a puzzled face. Didn't he still want to catch Lu Zixin? Why are you searching them again? There is always someone asking why the protagonist should take care of this matter, emphasizing many times, this is not a trivial matter. The protagonist is not going to catch the Black Shadow. It is to check the industrial chain after the scene. If a technology leads to unstable social factors such as fighting and even death, how much social impact will it have? End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 368. 368 Chapter 368 is bad in nature. The 368 chapter is bad. Don't talk, go in and see. Luo Jinhammer was too lazy to care for him. This time, these policemen are working harder. The machines of Luo Jinhammer were found a lot by them. And not long after, the single director also brought people. Lu Jing, the single secretary, took a call and gave a drink. 2. Lu Jing rushed to report, "Secretary, Chen Shu, remember." He did not expect that even the book, remembers personally. It seems that the seriousness of the matter is more serious than he thought. Secretary, book, remember, Luo Jinhammer on the side is also forced, he only knows that Lu Zixin called people, who knows the other party a phone call, the County Public Security Bureau Director, and the book, remembered to come over. What kind of god is it that you have provoked? He just thought about it. This matter must find a way to get back the scene and unblock the relationship. Who knows that the other party's background is so strong, it is not an order of magnitude. He is a little relationship with people like Lu Jing, but Lu Jing is not enough in front of others. Luo Jinhammer couldn't help but sweat coldly. Today, it is really bloody. Boss, they want to search our safes. Ping Tu Youth came out to ask Luo Jinhammer. Luo Jinhammer still dared to play what the eyes, the director of the family came in person, and then not courting death? Give, he had no choice but to hand over the keys, and at the same time gritted his words, "You brat, good things for Laozi, wait for you to clean up. There are a few of you, not good things," he pointed at the little punks. Several small gangs saw the police chief and had already scared the urine. Now threatened by Luo Jinhammer, "I can't wait to run. I knew that they would recognize it and not let it go. Little brother, you see, we have a misunderstanding, come, smoke a cigarette." Luo Jinhammer's reaction was extremely fast, and immediately smiled and gave Lu Zixin a cigarette. "Don't give me this, your business is not over yet." Lu Zixin didn't look at him, went straight to Lu Shu, and shook hands with him. Paralyzed, Luo Jin hammered his heart, but his face had to pretend to be kind and emoticon, standing next to him. With Chen Shu, remember, the next thing will be much easier. The film was seized, all the equipment was taken away, and the boss and related personnel were also in the bureau for interrogation. As for what Lu Captain did, Lu Zixin didn't have time to worry about it, and they would investigate it internally. Lu Zixin's most heartfelt is exactly where the series of projection games came from. In the country, how many such movies are there? In a reception room of the county party committee, Chen Shu and the single director are negotiating with Lu Zixin. Octopus, according to what we know now, there are 3 illegal virtual projection games in the movie of Luo Jin Hammer. They are Crazy Me, The Devil of the Chamber and Escape. The director has some disclosures. The information was handed over to Lu Zixin for investigation. The Escape is a crime and anti-reconnaissance game. The Devil Room is a game that contains elements of violence, eroticism, crime, etc. Crazy Me is a simulated urban game with the theme of crime, breaking legal framework. These 3 virtual projections are not in compliance with the game production specifications, and the large-scale scenes are vividly displayed, guiding the players to carry out criminal activities, and competing with game elements such as sin values. Our psychologists have estimated that the psychological guidance and hints of these games are very strong, and the bloody, calorie content may cause the player to be psychologically distorted and make things that endanger social security. According to our understanding, this fight that took place in the vicinity of the county won more than a month, more or less with this shadow. These projection games have a relationship. Lu Zixin listened very carefully, and emoticon gradually became dignified. He thought that if it was in other places, did these things also cause similar social reactions? High science and technology is a double-edged sword. This is not a slogan in the book, but a very profound fact. Virtual projection technology seems to be harmless. However, in the hands of people with ulterior motives, it is a prohibited game that affects people's minds. If it is more serious, involving some organizations of evil demon, the country will rectify the relevant industries, and the red letter group will be badly hurt. Chen Shu also frowned and asked, "Where is this game coming from?" The single director shook his head and said, "According to the suspect's account, his machines and games are all purchased on the internet. We have already let the network police take action and strive to catch the master behind the scenes as soon as possible." "Octopus, you have already seen this thing," Chen Shu said with a heavy heart. "The impact is quite bad. Those adults are fighting and fighting. For the minors, it is the eyes that distort their minds. We attach great importance to this, and I have already reported the matter. I hope that the red letter group can cooperate with us to find out what is hidden behind this line." "This is, of course, I will definitely pay attention to it," Lu Zixin promised. After the facts happened, he called Lu Tong, and Lu Tong said that he would start investigating immediately. There is no news yet. When this happened, Lu Zixin couldn't rest at home. He took a flight to Zhongcheng and went to headquarters. "We randomly surveyed 13 cities and found secret places like shadow bars. The virtual projection games they played were also Crazy Me, The Devil of the Chamber, Escape, etc., and we also have normal production projection game." In the conference room, Lu Tong said with a heavy face, "It is estimated that there are similar places across the country. The equipment they use is generally divided into 3 types. One is our smart projection glasses, and the other is operational intelligence projection game consoles, and one is our intelligent projection machine designed for large enterprises. All 3 have been modified to destroy the positioning and safety information of the equipment." "So big, why didn't you find it early?" Lu Zixin stood up and questioned everyone in the room. A high-level group has been silent, with shame on his face. Lu Tong said with a heavy tone, "Octopus, This is my responsibility. I have not managed the company well and I have done a bad job in risk prevention and piracy. Do you still know? Luzixon patted the table and blamed, I am in Hexion, a small place. Because of this game, there have been some vicious fights, and the nationwide event is even worse. What will happen? Octopus, it's already happening. Zoo and Emoticon stood up ugly and said, the latest news received a minute ago. A recent vicious killing case in Northern Province has been investigated and related to these games. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 369. 369 Chapter Science and Technology's Double-Edged Sword. Chapter 369 Science and Technology's Double-Edged Sword. The news was presented to the public and the incident was not complicated. 3 days ago, 4 men followed 2 young women late at night, humiliating and killing them. In addition, they also brutally and violently killed an innocent people passing by. After the murder, the murderer escaped. At the time of the incident, after being reported by the media, the group was indignant. The police vigorously searched and arrested the 4 people in less than 1 day. After 2 days of interrogation, their motives for committing crimes and the reasons for murder have been investigated. These 4 people, 3 of whom have serious work. 1 person is an unemployed social youth. The 4 people went to an illegal entertainment venue to spend the day before committing the crime. They played a virtual projection game of violent crime, played for a day and night, and took mental psychedelic drugs, which led to confusion, illusion, confusion of the game and reality, cruelty to 2 women and a man. Killing. If it is normal, this kind of news will soon be overwhelmed by a lot of new news. But this time, the situation is completely different. Because of this tragedy, there has been a new inducing factor, a virtual projection game of super-realism and violent crime. It is conceivable that it will cause heated discussion in society. Let people revisit the technology of operable virtual projection. Luzixon tapped the table and said, I don't see it, I'm afraid of what's coming. This game is not made by us, but Red Letter is now the biggest virtual projection game maker on the market, and some of the spearheads are starting to target us. These games are definitely not downloaded from our platform, a senior executive wants to explain. Of course I know, Luzixon interrupted him. The public doesn't care where the game comes from, they just fear and resist this technology application. Octopus is right, Lu Tong took a deep breath and said, this will greatly affect the reputation of our company, even the reputation of the group. We must deal with this matter. When the company reaches a certain level, it must bear some more important responsibilities. Even if this illegal thing has nothing to do with the Red Letter Group, if the Red Letter Group does not make any action, everyone will worry about their products and technology, and the relevant departments will also make some remedial measures. Seriously, even a family the company has plummeted. Be sure to find out who is making these games and who is transforming our smart products, Luzixon said, the sooner the better. When the Red Letter Group rushed to carry out emergency measures, the reaction from the outside world began to heat up. The murder case was broken, and everyone's eyes were on the so-called violent, bloody, realistic projection game. On the network, some people released some game clips, which are terrifying simulation scenarios. The netizens were shocked and they discovered that the original virtual projection technology was made by people. It's too scary, this picture looks like my heart is panicked, really like it, if the projection is in front of me, I have to be scared. Is this a game? I thought it was a killing scene. How can there be such a game? The producer is too unscrupulous, only the metamorphosis will play. Terrifying, play this game, then go out and turn reality into a game, so Sin, be sure to crack down. I have seen this game, Just at our school he said that he has learned 50 kinds of criminal methods. I don't dare to be friends with him. Some related news and events have also been dug up by people. Some netizens broke the news and there was a fight in the school. The reason is probably because of playing this game. Others said that the neighboring man is playing this game and playing his wife every day. Some people even simply fictionalize some things on the internet to attract attention, and the compilation is really like. Soon, there was public opinion pointing to virtual projection technology and virtual projection games. One of the hottest paradoxes wrote, "From this game murder, we can find that the virtual projection game with bad content has a great impact on us, because it is too realistic. The stereoscopic image will make people confuse virtual and reality, resulting in insanity. If the content of the game instills a violent orientation, it is also a social stability, and people's personal safety poses a great threat. For the application of virtual projection technology, we should make more strict specifications and cannot abuse it." This report is relatively pertinent. There are some bad media, in order to attract people's attention, directly release even worse reports. Blood lessons, virtual projection technology is starting to do evil. Because of a technology of the red letter group, 3 innocent lives have died, and there are more hidden dangers, maybe by your side. See. Parents, are you still letting kids play virtual projection games? Check this out. The new spiritual opium must be paid attention. Although the comments and reports of these eyeballs will soon be deleted, they still cannot stop all kinds of rumors. The rumors are born with self-containedness, and the 3 become tigers. Many people even think that this game is made by Harem Group, and it is ruined on the internet. Garbage companies, how can you make such a game? It is a harm to society, it harms young people. Why don't the relevant departments review them? Is there an insider inside? Be sure to check them out. Really terrifying. I dare not let the children play this game now. The mobile phone does not dare to let him touch. How does the red letter group care? Some people also retort, you are mentally retarded? This game is not developed by red letter. Don't give anything to the red letter. Hee, although they weren't developed by them, but this technology is theirs. If it weren't for them, would this happen? MDZZ, people also sell kitchen knives in the supermarket. You hurt the person with a kitchen knife, is it necessary to catch the person in charge of the supermarket? This is not the same thing. They develop this kind of game and they should be responsible. The quarrels on the internet, real-time hotspots, news are occupied by similar topics. Even some authoritative and influential media have begun to make statements. Huaxia police stated in the official media, there will be no tolerance for any factors that endanger social stability, and it will vigorously crack down on illegal entertainment venues, shadow bars and related illegal game industry chains. Huaxia Culture Department declared that the reconsideration of the supervision and approval system for virtual projection games will be further improved and more stringent. Any virtual projection game with elements such as violence and pornography will not be approved, and the projection reality of virtual projections will be adjusted appropriately. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 370. 370 Chapter 370 Chapter 10 million Reward. The 10th 370 chapter rewards 10 million. The evaluation of Huaxia People's News is relatively pertinent. It does not directly refute virtual projection technology. Instead, it suggests that the regulatory authorities should improve the supervision system for new things, and guard against the use of new technologies in the hands of criminals. Affected by this, the number of players in the red letter game and the sales of game equipment have all dropped significantly. Even the sale of virtual projection equipment by red letter electronics has experienced different degrees of decline. However, the police still did not find any clues. The source of this black game industry chain is very good. All they can do is to seal up some movies and equipment. The Harem Group was affected by the storm and immediately responded to this. The Red Letter Group announced, all the virtual projection contents of the Red Letter Group will cooperate with the review of relevant departments to blur or reduce the projection content that may cause psychological discomfort. Any user who uses Red Letter's virtual projection design software should abide by the usage specifications. Once it violates, Red Letter Group will cooperate with him for legal responsibility. The Red Letter Group rewards 10 million for finding clues to the producers of Crazy Me, Skip, The Devil's Room, etc. If there is a clue, you can contact the official hotline or network channel staff. 10 million rewards. This statement is a good reputation for the Red Letter Group. Strictly speaking, this is not the responsibility of the Hongxing Group, but the Hongxing Group has still set an example, especially the 10 million rewards, so that the masses are more interested. 10 million, I am going to get rich and rely on this wave, I am going to take time off to be a detective. Who made this game? Come out, you can't run, just tell me, I will divide you 5 million, I will take 5 million. Tell me, I only have 1 million, and the other 9 million are yours. The Red Letter is good, there is power. Everyone is scattered, how can I find it? No information, no reason, I don't even know where to play these games. Because of the 10 million rewards, many media have quickly rushed, forwarded, or published reports. For a time, there were a lot of clues on the internet, most of which were fabricated, and some were clueless. The Red Letter Group, this matter has been treated as the most important thing in the group. Not only is a subsidiary of Red Letter Games, but other subsidiaries are also mobilized to handle this. Zhang Chen, in Hongxin Virtual Entertainment Co., Limited, the high-level representatives of each subsidiary gathered here to discuss the solution of the matter. Octopus, we thoroughly checked our game platform overnight, and we can be sure that these games did not appear on our game platform from the beginning, Lu Tong said first. In addition, we checked the sales channels of the equipment, which is very complicated. I can't find a clue. How did the game come out? Is there any clue? Shui Yao asked. The Red Letter game was already ready to be included in the Red Letter Virtual Entertainment, and she was under her jurisdiction. I didn't think of it, but it also affected the company's plan. No, Lu Tong shook his head. Our virtual projection design software is open source and can be used as long as it is downloaded. The technology used to make the game is not very clever, but they deliberately add to the bloody, violent, and erotic content of the game. When the virtual projection design software was first introduced, the Red Letter Group was designed for the purpose of mass use. This is the same as the mobile phone system. Why do you want to use a certain system? Not because the commonly used software is based on the system. The same is true for games. The more virtual projection games appear, the better it is for Red Letter. Previously, there were no illegal games, but they were all banned. This event is not because the other party has mastered the high technology, and has changed to some other game companies, but also has the strength to make such games. The worst thing is that they are the most daring. The game has the largest scale, and it has been successfully spread to the whole country. Liang Song, what progress has you made over there? Lu Zixin asked. We cooperated with the Public Security Department to track the source of the game and found some fake websites and download addresses, all of which were foreign servers and could not trace the source, Liang Song reports. According to the information currently available to the public security agencies, this black industry chain involves more than 1 billion yuan in funds. They checked from the source of funds and found that money has been transferred to overseas, and there is no way to track it in detail. We suspect that the beneficiaries behind the scenes are not at home. Liang Song said that it is not unreasonable. Many black-handed people on the internet have deliberately lived abroad in order to escape legal sanctions. Some countries with imperfect legal systems and not much cooperation with China. In this way, even if there are some clues in the country, there is no way to continue to investigate, and they will still go unpunished. It's just abroad, let me find them out, Lu Zixin ordered. You can't count on others this time, and invest more resources. In fact, After the crackdown by the regulatory authorities and the public security department, these illegal movies and games are no longer a weather. But in any case, there will be a few residuals, which will repeatedly undermine social stability and endanger the reputation of the Red Letter Group. The most important thing is that you can't be inspired by other people with ulterior motives. If these people see these criminals making use of new technology to make money, and they are still at large, it is certain that these black industries will grow like weeds and have more patterns, except that they are not clean. Luzixen's goal is to kill chickens and monkeys, so that these people can see that it is not easy to use new technology to break profits. It must pay a heavy price. This is why he issued a reward of 10 million. Okay, I will arrange a few more teams to conduct an external network survey and try to find their information, Liang Song immediately arranged. Luzixen looked at Shui Yao again and asked, what are the useful clues provided by the masses? Shui Yao shook his head helplessly and said, there are too many clues, almost all of them are trying to make money. We can't sort out the details, too many false information, and delay us and the police. Continue to stare, tell me if there is news. After Luzixen arranged, he also went to Red Letter Software Development Co., Limited to conduct network tracking together. But even with his big master, there has been no progress. First of all, the other party is not at home, and it is difficult to track the external network. Moreover, they have cut off the network channels they used before and erased the traces. Luzixen also feels quite troublesome. End of this chapter.